It is the Keeping It Raw podcast, back at you with another video. I know I've been gone for a minute, but I am back. And definitely we're going to talk the Detroit Lions. Will Brad Holmes deliver the missing pieces on draft night? Now, right now, a lot of people are really giving Detroit a lot of props and saying that Detroit has what it takes to win the North. And rightfully so, man. You know, on paper, it does look like the Detroit Lions will win the North this season. They got the talent to do it. They got the players to do it. You got a couple upgrades to the team. You no longer have Jamal Williams on the team. You have an upgraded running back with David Montgomery, who a lot of people have already said that David Montgomery is pretty much a better running back than Jamal Williams. But what you can say with Jamal is that he was a leader. He gave you that energy for the past seasons that he was here, and he gave it his all as a number 2 running back. And you can't ask for much more for Jamal Williams. Wish they would have worked out with him, where they would have been able to get the deal done, but unfortunately it didn't happen that way. And the ball bounced in another court, and the Lions end up picking up David Montgomery. Now, are the Lions done getting pieces on offense? I don't think so. They can also draft another receiver. They could draft another guard. They could draft a running back. The Lions can do whatever they want in this draft. I think the Lions, this draft this season will be the best player available draft for the Detroit Lions. The Lions can attack this thing any way they want to. They can get a linebacker early. They can get a corner. They could get a safety. They could get a guard. They can get whatever they want, whatever direction that they want to go into. Ultimately, they can go in that direction. Now, the biggest thing is where Brad Holmes delivered the missing pieces on draft night. There's so much speculation, talk about the Lions. Will they trade up? Will they trade down? Some have already said that they will win the 2023 NFC North Title. And I just want to pump our brakes for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be realistic, man. The Lions still got to go out and win at the end of the day. And we can't forget that. Even though the media is pumping up the Detroit Lions, and a lot of people who've been doing videos on the Detroit Lions have speculated that the Lions are going to be terrifying. The Lions are going to be this. The Lions are going to be that. But I say just take it one game at a time, man. I'm not here to, I'm not here to bash the Detroit Lions or anything like that. Just take it one day at a time and one game at a time. The Lions still got a lot to prove. This is a franchise that has never really won anything. And yes, they are new Lions. They are a different group of Lions. They are a new breed of Lions. The culture is really changing. And I got to give a shout out to Brad Holmes for the things that he has done well. Now, I can't praise everything that Brad Holmes has done. I know everybody wants to give them an A for every single thing that he's done. But I have to say, when it comes to the backup quarterback position, I just feel like it's been lackluster. Like really not really giving it any thought. Bringing back Nate Sudfeld because he knew the playbook. And because, and to me, in my mind, it's like you're saying basically no other quarterback is capable of coming in here and learning the playbook. And I don't think that the Lions offense is that difficult. I think the reason why they brought him back is because he's familiar and he was cheap. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it a buck. The reason why the Detroit Lions brought back Nate Sudfeld is because he knew the playbook. He knew the playbook, and he also was cheap. So it's cheaper to keep her, if you ever heard of that term before. So it's cheaper to keep him on the roster, and you still can add a quarterback to the room. Whether or not the Detroit Lions take a quarterback in the first round, we don't know. They have a luxury pick from the Rams that they could very well take a quarterback and trade up. The only how I think the Lions will get a quarterback in the first round is they trade up or they select Hendon Hooker. A lot of people pretty much think that the Detroit Lions could go with Jalen Carter. And I agree. Jalen Carter is the type of guy that they really need. They need a guy like Jalen Carter on that defensive line. He's not a choir boy. Yes, he's got in some off the field issues and stuff like that, which I don't really want to get into that part of it. But, he didn't have the best pro day as well. Jalen Carter is a monster. Even though he gained 9 pounds, we know that somebody is going to take a swing at Jalen Carter and put him on their defensive line. He got some maturing and some growing to do, but that's just part of it. Everybody can't be the same type of prospect. Everybody deals with different life situations differently, and unfortunately for Jalen Carter, he's been dealing with some life situations, and he could be the pick. The Lions could ultimately, at the end of the day, pick Jalen Carter. Now, I know Dan Campbell said he heard some interesting things from a teammate of Jalen Carter, which we don't know what those things were said. But, the teammates probably just kept it a buck and kept it 100 and just pretty much let them know that, hey, yeah, Jalen Carter is, a pretty good player. But, yeah, he got some maturity to do. So we don't know what it is. But at the end of the day, what you do know is that the Lions need to walk away in this draft this season with the missing pieces to the puzzle. They need to get better defensively, and they need to get better offensively, and they need to get blue chip talent and premium talent in this draft. They got to get premium talent in this draft. If the Lions ultimately want to win the NFC North Title, which a lot of people have already said that the Lions are going to be terrifying, the Lions are going to be scary, the Lions are going to be this, the Lions are going to be that. But you're talking about a franchise that's never done anything. So the hope for most fans is to think that, yes, the Lions will change everything and really be that team. But everything has to gel and everything has to come together as well. The defense has to be better. I don't think that you're just going to win the NFC North outright if you don't have a better defense. You got to have a good defense, man. You got to be able to get pressure on the quarterback. You got to be able to get stops. And you got to be able to be a top 15 defense, I believe, for the Lions to even really, really make some noise this season. Now, I know that they're playing a 4-2-5, which is a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? You got more defensive backs playing, and you got a safety that normally comes up and cheats up like a linebacker. So, yeah, they got one of the best guys to do that in C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who is a very, very talented player and a very good player, and is capable of being very versatile. But at the end of the day, Brad Holmes must deliver on the missing pieces on draft night. I think that the Lions can win the North. I'm not going to say that the Lions can't win the North. I think that they can, and I think that they're talented enough to do it. But will they do it? Will they take advantage of it? If Aaron Rodgers goes over to the Jets, like so many think that he will be a Jet this season, and pretty much it's looking like the deal will probably be finalized by close to the draft day or whatever. Will the Lions be able to step up? Minnesota pretty much has been, one of the top teams too in this division. And then the Bears, we know that they're in a rebuild. We know that Justin Fields is not all the way there, but I believe that Justin Fields will be a dangerous quarterback next season. I think that once they get that right tackle, and once they get a few more weapons on the offensive side of the ball, Justin Fields is going to be unleashing hell in this division. We already know what he can do with his legs, but now, a lot of people have pretty much ragged on this guy and said he's a running back as a quarterback and this and that stuff. But this is the type of stuff they say about guys that are dual threat quarterbacks, and rightfully so, man, because Justin Fields, he only averaged 138 yards, 150 something yards. So I understand, where people are coming from and calling the guy running back and stuff like that. I understand things of that nature, but he had to do what he had to do for his team because he pretty much didn't have really the talent on the offensive line, and he was getting destroyed and he was getting killed. But I think it's going to be a different Justin Fields this season. I think he's going to be able to deliver the football, but at the same time, Jared Goff has the opportunity to be able to win this division. This will be Jared Goff's third year on this Detroit Lions team. And yes, he has been able to turn things around. He started off slow in both seasons, but he was able to turn things around. And the biggest thing is will the Detroit Lions, if Jared Goff goes out and balls out and gives it his all and produces the same type of season that he produced last year and even get these Lions into the postseason, will the Detroit Lions be willing to pay him a 45 up to $50 million contract? That's what's at stake right now. Because if he goes out and balls out, I'm pretty sure that the Lions probably will give him a huge payday. I don't think that he's going to take a hometown discount. I don't think that it's going to be the case. I think that if Jared Goff goes out there and balls out, the Lions will ultimately probably break the bank for this guy. But in the meantime, a good franchise is always thinking about the future. You always draft the positions that you need. And yes, we do need a backup quarterback. I don't think that Nate Sudfeld is the guy. We need a young guy that we can sit back there and groom. I don't care if it's Will Levis. I don't care if it's Anthony Richardson. I don't care if it's Bryce Young. I don't care if it's CJ Stroud. I don't even care at this point if it's Tanner McKee or whoever it may be. The Lions must eventually draft a quarterback. You can't keep running from this. You cannot keep running and denying that you need a quarterback. The Detroit Lions need to get a backup quarterback, especially in the situation of negotiating with Jared Goff. And if Jared Goff goes out and have another season like he had last year, you're going to have to pay Jared Goff. So the Lions got some decisions that they're going to have to make, and it's going to be futuristic decisions that they're going to have to make. Because whether or not you take the quarterback in the first round or you take a quarterback later, you're going to have to eventually draft a quarterback. You just can't walk away with this thing with Nate Sudfeld and think that everything is sweet, because everything is not sweet. You have to be able to have a young guy that you can sit back there and groom, even if the fans are against whoever you take as a quarterback. Even if the fans are against it. And I don't think in any draft, Brad Holmes has really listened to the fans. It's always been about what the Lions are going to do, what's best for themselves, and what they feel like is going to make them a better football team. This year, to me, it's about best player available. It's about getting the missing pieces to be able to get to the playoffs. Because what are you looking to do, really, if you're thinking about the future with the Lions? You trying to say the number one word that you want to see be used in this situation is the word consistency. You want the Lions to be consistent year in and year out. You just don't want to have one season of great football being played by the Detroit Lions in 2023, but you're trying to build on to something where the Lions are like the Patriots used to be. The Lions are like how the Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers, these teams that make the playoffs every year or every other season. They may have one down season, but they continue to have consistency and they continue to be able to get to the postseason, even if they don't even win it all. Because let's face it, man, it's hard to win a Super Bowl. It's not easy. I know a lot of fans saying, yeah, man, we want to win the Super Bowl, this and that. It's not easy getting to the Super Bowl. You got to get hot at the right time. Your team being able to click and get hot at the right time. The defense is playing good. You're getting good work from the special teams and the offense is clicking. You never know, man. Sky's is the limit, man. The last time the Detroit Lions was in that situation was 1991, 92, when they had an opportunity. They was only one game away from making it to the Super Bowl. So that's the furthest the Lions have ever been in franchise history. And they got put out, I believe, by at the time, the Washington Redskins. So the Lions have what it takes, and I definitely think that the Lions will ultimately be a better team this year. But at the end of the day, the draft is going to be a great indication of what the Lions are going to be able to do, because you're going to have to find elite talent in this draft. You're going to have to find guys that you can plug and play and get these guys involved on this roster this season to be able to make the moves and do the things that they need to do. Ultimately, I think that Brad Holmes will get the job done. But at the same time, I think that in the draft, you always need to be thinking about the future. You need to be thinking about the future at linebacker. You know, these are two areas. The quarterback position and the backup quarterback position and the linebacker position has been a position that has been neglected by the Detroit Lions for a long time. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you need a premium athletic linebacker. I know that they brought back Alex Anzalone. He's going to be around for at least 2 years. I know that the Detroit Lions have Malcolm Rodriguez, and I know that they got Derek Barnes. But do you think that Malcolm Rodriguez and Alex Anzalone is enough at the linebacker position? Because it looks like the Detroit Lions are going to be playing with 2 linebackers. So do you think that those 2 are enough to move the needle in 2023? Now, yes, Alex Anzalone did have a better season last season. He did have a lot of more tackles. He did play well towards the end of the season. But is he really the answer at linebacker? Is Malcolm Rodriguez really the answer at linebacker? Now, Malcolm Rodriguez is a very solid linebacker, and you got to give a shout out to him for being a 6th-round pick and pretty much earning his role on the team and ultimately not just being a special teamer, but also being a starting linebacker for the Detroit Lions. So none of us saw that coming from Malcolm Rodriguez. I did not think that he would come in and ultimately be a starter on this Detroit Lions defense. I thought it would take him a year or so, couple years or so, to be able to do that. But to me, the Lions need to get faster. They need to get stronger at the linebacker position. This has been a position that they've neglected for a very, very long time. And to me, in today's NFL, you need to have an athletic linebacker that can cover some of these tight ends. And that's what the Detroit Lions have problems with. You know, you think about the Seattle game. When we played in Seattle, we struggled with covering tight ends. Let's just face it. Geno was killing us, man, with those little tight end plays. He was killing us with those plays. And most teams that we guard that have a tight end, the tight end normally destroys us. He normally kills us. So you got to be able to get better at the linebacker spot. So this has to be on Brad Holmes' draft board this season. We need to be able to find us a good athletic linebacker, whether you're taking a Jack Campbell, whether you're taking a Drew Sanders, whether you're taking a Noah Sewell, you're taking I think the kid name is Diane Hentley or something like that. Dion Hentley from Washington State, or you're taking other linebackers that's in this draft. You're looking for speed. You're looking for production out of these type of linebackers. You're looking for these guys to be able to have an impact because you got to think about the future. Yes, you have Alex Anzalone for the next couple seasons. Yes, you have Malcolm Rodriguez and Derek Barnes, but you need to get better. You need to get speed. You need to get guys that can cover tight ends, and you need to get guys that are well-rounded at the linebacker position. Because let's face it, the linebackers in today's NFL, they do a lot. Whether it's going in on blitzes, whether it's stuffing the run, or being able to cover tight ends. You have to be able to get that done. You cannot continue to avoid the linebacker spot. So hopefully Brad Holmes will address the linebacker spot this year, and hopefully he'll get a guy that can come in here and really play and ball out. It's been a long time since the Lions had that linebacker has been a very, very good linebacker like a DeAndre Levy or a Chris Spielman or a Stephen Tulloch. Some of these guys that we've had in the middle that have been solid for us. We need to be able to do that. Even if we are in a 4-2-5 defense, we still got to have good linebackers. So I'm hoping that on draft night, Brad Holmes hits on all this, but I know that the media right now is bigging up the Detroit Lions. And the only thing I'm saying is just pump your brakes because we've never done anything before. So let's just take it one game at a time. Let's take it one season at a time. And ultimately, at the end of the day, on paper, it does look like the Detroit Lions have a big shot to be able to win the NFC North Title this season in 2023. But at the end of the day, they got to go out and win football games. We can hype them up. We can say all these different things, but we know that we know this franchise, that we've never done anything. And I know a lot of people are excited coming off the 9-8 season last year. But let's just be consistent. Let's go out and figure out how to win these games. And let's be a franchise that really, really turns over a new leaf. Let's be the franchise that's able to turn over a new rock in 2023. Go out there, win a game at a time, and be the best that you can be. If Brad Holmes can draft well this season and ultimately find the missing pieces to the puzzle then I think that the Lions will go far in 2023. We need to get premium talent. We need dogs on this team. We need werewolves. We need silverback gorillas on this team this season in order to be able to do the things that they want to do. You have to draft well. Everything lines up for the Lions to be able to draft well. And I don't care what position they're taking, whether it's a backup quarterback, whether it's a defensive tackle, because we know we need a defensive tackle. Even if it's not Jalen Carter, if they decide to go with a Brian Breesy, if they decide to go and get a defensive end in Will Anderson or a Miles Murphy or a Tyree Wilson, whoever they decide to get, we're going to roll with it. And we're going to be happy for whoever we decide to take and bring them into the fold. But at the end of the day, these guys better be good. We need good players, man. We need elite talent on this roster. It ain't just about the guys that you got on now, but it's the guys that you add to the team that's going to give you that, they're going to give you that fire next season that you need to play with. Every position needs to know that the next guy that's behind you is always willing to take your job and be ready and willing to take your job. Because that's what it is. It's always about competition, man. You never can run from the fact that you will compete in the NFL. No matter if you're the starter today and then you're a backup quarterback the next week. It's always going to be competition. So I just want to say, I know it's so many YouTubers doing Detroit Lions content now. And then you have so many people that's doing videos on the Lions that are hyping the Lions up and saying that the Lions are going to be terrifying, the Lions are going to be scary. But let's just humble ourselves, guys. If we walk and remain humble and walk in humbleness, man, we ain't got nothing to worry about, man. The sky is going to be the limit. We should feel good about this team. We should feel great about the direction that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell is taking his team. But at the end of the day, you still got to go out and win football games. We can talk all we want, and talk is cheap. And that's all we can't really talk. We can't really talk junk like we really want to until we win the North. When we win a North title, then we got the right to start talking back to other franchises and saying what we're going to do to them. But right now, we really can't really talk because we really ain't done anything. We haven't done anything, guys. We haven't done anything. We haven't won the NFC North title since the transition from the NFC Central to the North. We have not done anything. So we don't have the right to just bash other teams. We don't have that right now. We don't got that privilege to do that yet. But once we win the North and we really put this thing down and we go out and win 10 and more games this season, man, we got the right to talk our stuff, bro. We got the right to be able to stick out our chest and walk around, like a peacock with a chest stuck out. We got the right to do that then. Right now, guys, we don't got the right. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep it a hundo. We do not have the right to stick out our chest right now. But if we start winning these games and we win the North next year, man, we get to walk around in the division with our chest stuck out saying, yeah, the division is ours. Yeah, we coming for it. So, all right, you guys, this is the Keeping It Raw podcast, and I'll be back to you soon with another video. I'm out of here. Until next time, make sure you subscribe too, guys. All right, I'm out.